Welcome back, softies, for another episode of the Soft Knocks podcast.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Dave's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Yes. So I'm off
Should
work.
we sing, like, happy birthday on the podcast?
We'd lose our one listener. I don't know.
Oh, man.
All right, so what do we want to do? I assume we got to talk Super Bowl first.
Frankie, we can do whatever the fuck we want.
And then another good sports story is Cheryl Swoops just completely lying about Caitlin Clark. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, Cheryl Swoops, one of the goats of women's basketball, was on with, I believe, Gilbert Arenas, that old NBA guy, on his podcast, which is slightly higher in the rankings than ours. But they started talking Caitlin Clark, and she's like, yeah, I don't think she'll do what she's doing right now in the league, which is a fine opinion. I mean, but then she's like, her record's not that impressive because she's got an extra COVID year, and she's like 25 years old, and she shoots 40 shots a game. All three are just bald-faced lies. And nobody checked her on it. Like, they just went along with the interview like, yeah, that should have an asterisk next to it. And Caitlin's boyfriend, Connor McCaffrey, he tweeted, he's like, imagine being in an interview and being this unprepared about everything. Because first of all, she's a normal senior age. She's only had, this is her fourth year. She has the option for a COVID year next year. But she's going to break it in the same amount of the record.
Yeah.
And just completely fabricated everything. And she got caught on it later and has yet to be like, oh, my bad.
See, you know what? Like, this goes completely against my philosophy in life, which is just fucking fake it till you make it. And, like, I'll be honest, there's times in my life where I just say things with absolute conviction that I am not sure are correct.
Well, I think she is your advice because she has not corrected it yet. She's just like doing laughing emojis on Twitter. Like,
I generally take accountability when
well,
I
when
make
you're
an ass out of myself.
an opinion's one thing. Everyone's entitled to it.
Yes.
But to just you're flat out wrong about this. Like, everything she said was so wrong. And Gilbert Arenas was an idiot too. He just sat there. Was like, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
I mean,
I guess from his standpoint, like,
probably didn't know.
I guess, all right. So he was interviewing her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he like had like Caitlin Clark questions, or do you think
Probably
it came
not.
up organically?
I assume that came up organically
because if she just said it, right?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't watch the
if
whole
you weren't
thing.
prepping for it, like, I don't know that I would.
Yeah,
I live in Iowa, and I didn't know.
Well, I know this whole
for
5-year
sure how many
COVID
years she'd
thing.
been there.
To be that certain about it, like, she wasn't even like, is this her fifth year?
I think the
Seems
most
like jealousy.
The most
A little jealous.
egregious
I think
thing
they don't
in that-
like. She don't.
The most egregious thing
Get
in
a lot
that
of hype
interview
With
is
the. We better.
is
I
her
I will.
is her saying that she can't do it in the league. First of all, you can't call the WNBA the league.
No.
You can't. Second,
Yeah, that's
like,
a wrong opinion. First of all, I think. But.
She's not even in the league, and she's probably top 10%,
Yeah.
5% maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm almost certain she's going to do this in the league. But if that's your opinion, I mean, that's okay.
It's
But
not like she'll become a worse shooter
no, and
on this court. You know,
I don't think the
know.
athleticism is that big a difference in the women's.
yeah.
I don't know, but none of them can hit layups. I do know that on any level.
Saw an All-Star game when they went the wrong way from the tip-off. So
I still can't believe she called it the league.
That may have been me. I don't know.
No, we're gonna roll with it.
Actually, she called it the big show, the bright lights.
Oh man.
You don't just walk into the Indiana Fever arena, come out with a W.
The what?
The Indiana Fever. That's
the Indiana
I thought you
Fever.
said Indiana Beaver, and I was like, oh my god,
That would make
I
way
am
more
now
sense.
a fan.
that would make way more sense.
Is the Indiana Beavers on TV right now?
That's where Caitlin's going if she leaves because
If
they
she
got the
leaves,
number one pick.
She'll be teaming up with that Aaliyah Boston gal that was the
Oh, I
number
do
one.
remember
She
her.
might have been the number one pick last year. She was a stud at South Carolina.
Are
for
we
years.
talking Indiana Beaver Dynasty?
They're building a dam.
It's
Nothing's going
David's
through
like, thank you,
Indiana."
everybody. I'm done. Yeah, they're gonna dynasty. They're talking here. But those are 2 women basketball players I've actually heard of, so I assumed that might be a good team.
Well, and
Yeah.
young talent, right?
Yeah, yeah. That Leah Boston's huge.
Yeah,
I
but
remember they played them last year.
there is. I mean, the Las Vegas Aces, who are the best team in the WNBA, have like.
It seems David knows a lot about. Maybe
I
it
know,
is the, it is
I
the
know
league.
a little bit. I know a little bit.
Okay,
But
go
these
ahead.
Las Vegas Aces, they've got like 4 of the 5 best players in the league. It seems like on that team.
So they're. Can you name them?
I can name a couple. I think Kelsey Plum plays there.
Oh, the one that
Yeah, and then
Caitlin's about to break that record. I did see that.
Candace Parker, league MVP, multiple time league
Who's
MVP.
that girl that?
Dave's the only one out of the 3 of us who knows anything about sports. So.
Yeah, I guess. Thanks for joining. Who's that girl that can really shoot? Is shooting against Curry in the All-Star game.
Yeah, Ionescu.
Do we know her team?
She's from
Isn't
the
that
New York
isn't
Liberty.
that like a drug that you go get
I-
a shaman for?
That's what Aaron Rodgers is going to do this offseason.
Yeah, she plays it with the New York Liberty, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, playing against Curry.
And that wraps up our WNBA talk
Forever.
forever. But
Interesting.
we got to revisit Caitlin when she breaks this record, which probably
Yeah, I
in 2
mean,
games,
next time
3
you see her
games.
at your family reunion, you just
Yeah.
tell her about our podcast, and we'll
And I'll
get
tell
on.
her, don't let the haters get you down, like Cheryl Swoops. They're just jealous. But yeah, no, we should get her on the podcast.
I wouldn't know what to do with an actual. I wouldn't even begin to know how to
An actual
deal with
athlete?
an actual athlete or person that isn't just us or one of our friends. Like I wouldn't begin to know what to do.
So
I don't
Kate-
even know what to do if we actually ever do get George on the podcast.
So
Just
Caitlin, have you
let
seen
him
Saltburn? What did you think of the cum drinking scene out of this tub?
Oh God, we talked about watching the new Roadhouse when it comes out, and so I watched the old Roadhouse twice. So I wanted to watch it because I hadn't seen it.
Well, yeah, the
in
new one's not out yet.
forever, right? And I didn't really remember a whole lot about it other than Patrick Swayze kicks some ass. He's got some
Shirtless
some cool
a lot,
hair.
yeah.
So Saturday, kids are they're off playing, doing something, and Mia's sitting in the living room watching something. I'm like, hey, let's watch a movie. It's like just 2:00 in the afternoon. I'm like, she's like, what movie? I'm like, we're gonna watch Roadhouse.
Yeah,
She's
it's
like,
a good family flick.
what the fuck is Roadhouse? So
Did you punch her in the face for asking such a question?
I left the kids at home and I took her to some bar somewhere.
The Double Deuces?
Yeah. And so we fire up this movie. I go get a cocktail, and I have a couple cocktails while I'm watching Roadhouse, and it's a fucking terrible movie.
Yeah.
Like
God, I haven't seen this movie for like 20 years, so I
Now,
have nothing to add
There's
to
some
this.
nice fight scenes.
yeah, there's a little bit of action there, and maybe like with
Patrick
the action
Swayze's ass
movies,
is out.
the
quite a
action
bit.
movies that we get today, maybe we're a little spoiled. This was
Yeah.
what 19.
Is
it
It's
89?
80s, right? Yeah, late 80s.
And
think.
and like he's tiny, and that's the joke in the whole movie. Like
Thought you'd be bigger.
thought you'd be bigger.
My dad at dinner tonight remembered that line
did.
from the movie. I'm like, I was shocked.
But the storyline, like it is like the most ridiculous.
I watched it and I don't understand. Like the
yeah.
rich guy. Why
What
does
his problem is?
why does he not want a thriving business in his community?
I don't know.
Does this town have policemen?
Good point. And is there like this underground list of
Bouncers.
across
Yeah.
the nation? Like
Is there like a fantasy draft of bouncers?
yeah. I mean, has any owner like ever come to Iowa and drove up in like a big old Cadillac and been like, "Hey, just pulled some guy from Uncle Buck's and been like,
I heard you're the best in town.
And like they audibly gasped when they saw it was Dalton, as if he's like a celebrity bouncer.
Like, do people know these people?
And they're like, he's the best, and I ain't the best. Wade is the best, who, by the way, is the Coors Light voice, Sam Elliott.
Yeah, he's also like. Can we talk about the
lot.
fact that this movie's made in 1989? I'm pretty sure, and he looks just as old then, which is old, as he does in 2018 when they started Yellowstone.
Yeah, he's one of those guys I think was born about.
He had gray hair when he came out the
years
womb.
old. Yeah. Always kind of like looks like he's been smoking his whole life.
Yeah.
He
Probably
did have
has been.
great hair in that movie.
I know.
He pulled the man bun off pretty good. Spoiler alert: he gets a knife through the chest, and I actually had forgotten that.
I still don't understand like some of the plot points, like
the entire movie.
like what's the symbolism behind the Mercedes? Like he has this Mercedes that like it's just parked, and then he has like some other car that he drives around, and then he drives the Mercedes from I think it was New York, maybe.
Yeah, the plates they kept
to Kansas City, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go buy some other piece of shit car."
Is he not?
I assume it's because people are slashing his tires and busting his shit.
Well, that's my next point. Is how many times does your car have to be destroyed before you take a cab to work?
Yeah,
like every night.
This is Kansas City. Like, live closer, man. I don't know. Get a fucking horse.
Every night he closed the bar, his car was totaled.
Yeah,
from a bunch of assholes. I mean, it's got to be expensive.
And then one of these like bad guy assholes shows up in a goddamn like monster truck. And I'm not talking about like a lifted 4x4. I'm talking about fucking Bigfoot, the goddamn monster rally truck.
This is how ridiculous this movie is. That was towards the beginning of the movie. I saw these wheels, and I just brushed it off like it was nothing. It wasn't until later in the movie I'm like, that is a fucking ridiculous truck to have. And why?
Man.
And it's just driving around town.
Yeah, that's not legal.
Again, this goes back to there's no policemen in this town.
Or DMV, evidently. You can't register that shit.
He just parks it at the bar. That would be a flex. If you could just park a fucking monster truck. On the other thing, have you ever been to a bar that requires a steel fence for the band to be behind so they can play safely?
That's wild.
I haven't. I've been to some gas stations that have like bulletproof plexiglass.
Well, yeah.
So I guess I'm not frequenting those bars, but maybe they exist.
Yeah, there's a jail cell there guarding the Jeff Healey band, which is a real band. I didn't even realize.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the blind dude.
Yeah.
And this movie is just crazy. And
they were both like really big bars.
Yeah.
Like the first one where he's in, like I said, I assume it's New York, and it's like a really big spot. And then they go to Kansas City, and again, like it's just feels like really big inside. But
yeah, for a shithole.
Yeah.
And then like we need to go to these bars where what was that line? Do you want to kiss my girlfriend's titties?
Oh, that was a great part.
$20, $10 $10 a titty.
And then he's just sitting there like groping her tits, and then he's like, "Come on, kiss her." And he goes, "I can't." He goes, "What do you mean you can't?" He goes, "I ain't got $20."
And then
a fight breaks out.
And then just fisticuffs. Yeah. So yeah, this movie's ridiculous. If you haven't seen it, but I think most people have at least seen it when they were young.
Oh,
but I'd recommend a rewatch just to bathe in how ridiculous it is.
It is
so bad it's good.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
you gotta
one of those,
have a
It's a
kind of appreciation for Swayze.
it's a classic.
Today-
I do like Swayze.
And
today it would have went straight to Hulu.
yes.
I'm interested to see the new one to
Today-
see what the new
yeah, like-
storyline is.
Today, this is
Yeah.
like a Nick Cage movie today.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just talking to David on the way here that I think the new one is a totally different plot.
It would have to.
It
be.
would.
Like honestly, if it
Then
is
why even
just,
call it Roadhouse? Just go with something new.
Well,
The
because
nostalgia, I guess.
that
Yeah.
and you get people talking about it.
There we go.
You get assholes like
Yeah,
us
I
who
don't-
go back. I'm going to go back and watch the other one.
That's true. But yeah, it was bad. I still don't understand really.
There really isn't like
The ending.
a real plot line to it other than, big.
Great boobs scenes.
There are some
though.
of that.
I will say that. Good. Nice looking women.
Like it's like there was no even plot line of like it being like
How about Swayze's ass, huh?
like a drug thing and like he's putting a stop to the drugs. Like he's not even impacting this guy other than like he got his buddy fired from behind the bar.
Yeah.
And I guess he's
then-
in love with the doctor chick who also the bad guy has a thing for, I think. But
And this really bad guy just goes around blowing up establishments around town, and not one police report is written up.
yeah.
It's just like who made this movie? I wonder if it was like a one and done thing.
What were the other options
I-
in 1889, I guess? Like maybe that's part of the problem is that, back then there just wasn't a lot of good options for storylines or
And the guy with
Special
the pool
effects.
cue that just started like pulling ninja moves off on the dance floor. Do you remember? He's the one with the line that said, I fucked guys like you in prison. And I don't think that came out like you imagined.
no.
Not so intimidating.
No, that would be. Oh. But anyway, yeah, it was something. I'm glad we watched it. I do look forward to the new one. Probably, I don't know if it's better fight scenes, although these weren't awful. But
Yeah, I mean, it is a different. Like today, the action stars are just different. Like
yeah,
the fight scenes are great, but like they're just kind of ridiculous, and he looks tiny.
he does. Well, that played into
Yeah,
a lot of it,
I
but
thought you'd be bigger. That's what she said.
and then his buddy Wade, the Sam Elliott guy, just aggressively trying to fuck his girlfriend at that, like not even hiding it. Like groping her, dancing her, flat out telling her.
Maybe that's just how they roll.
What a shitty friend.
Maybe that's what they're into.
Maybe. I don't know a lot of bouncers, so I guess maybe that is what they're into.
That's part of the deal, being part of the underground
Or
network.
a cooler, I should say. Yeah.
Is that what they call them? A cooler?
Which I don't know what that means either.
You cool off the situation.
Is that what it is? Okay, I guess. Guess that makes
See,
sense.
I don't know that. I just said it with enough
It
conviction.
probably makes sense.
And you believe me.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I spent last night. It was brutal, but kind of fun.
I should do more of that though. Like just watching old shitty movies.
I say another one like that. Is Footloose is another one that's so bad,
Yeah.
but a classic.
Also one that has an
We're gonna
old
have to do a
version
lot of-
and a new version.
That's true. I've never seen the new one actually, but
I haven't seen either of them.
I think we're going to be doing a lot of movie reviews with no
We'll
sports.
keep you busy.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
I don't know. We've talked about two of them, and it's been pretty good conversation. So
I know way more about movies and sports, which maybe is not saying much. But back to sports, we got the big game.
Super Bowl Sunday.
I'm gonna say Super Bowl like a bunch of times in this episode to see if we get in trouble because I don't think you're allowed to say. I know you're not allowed to like advertise.
I hope we get in trouble. That'll give us some press.
Yeah. Like you can't be like if you're on the radio, you can't say. I don't think you can say like
Are you
Super
kidding
Bowl.
me?
I think you have to say like the Super Big Game or something.
Really?
Oh, the NFL's got that shit on lockdown.
NFL's kind of annoying.
NFL is kind of annoying.
Jeez. But we'll go the big game.
No, say Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
What are they gonna do?
Shut us down. Good
They'll
luck
send me
stopping
a-
this machine.
Yeah. We're like a giant cruise ship. We're not going anywhere.
We're a cruise ship if it was the Titanic.
Yes.
Oh, David, our guest. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. 35 tomorrow.
35.
How about that?
Give me your thoughts and predictions, and maybe a bet you like. Not necessarily the game, but like a prop bet or something.
Yeah. I want the Niners to win. I want to see Brock Purdy win. I'll root for Brock. Iowa State guy. I'm an Iowa guy, but I'll root for Brock.
Yeah.
Underdog. He's got a good story. Good player. He seems like a guy you'd hang out with.
So he's way cooler than who we hang out with.
But I don't know. It's hard to bet against the Chiefs, right? I mean, they've got the experience.
And the NFL is going to make them win because they want Taylor Swift to win.
Yeah, let's be
Let's
honest.
get that out of the way right now.
Let's get out of the way.
Ahead. No, go.
You're
Pretend
right,
that's
you're
not
right.
there. Who do you think's going to win? You still go Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs will probably win. I think the Chiefs will probably win.
Give me a score.
Does anyone have the line on the game?
I don't know.
Niners.
I
Gotta
checked
be
like a week
close,
ago.
right?
It was like
2.
2.
Niners 2, I believe, unless it's moved again.
I like. Yeah, I don't know.
Low scoring, high scoring. Peyton Manning, I know, said he thinks it's going to be really high scoring, but
Really?
I don't know.
Well, he's an offense guy.
Yeah, I think that's
he's
maybe-
always rooting for whatever quarterback's playing. You ever watch
Currently,
him?
DraftKings has Niners -2, over under 47.5.
Okay.
There is an entire section for the Swifties to bet,
Yeah.
which just makes me nauseous saying, but
It's gross.
I wanted to not like Brock Purdy because of you, Jason.
It's endearing.
Because everything good happens to you in sports. Well, I mean, not in sports, but
Just life.
in life. But I've heard some interviews that he is a good dude.
He's so humble. too.
Humble, like religious, and just very good dude. And
His parents have a.
he's hard not to cheer for.
His parents have a hot tub sales business in suburbs of Phoenix.
Cool.
Really?
Yep.
He still comes
Small
back.
business owners.
Doesn't he come back to Iowa a lot still? Like, I saw him
Yeah.
the bye week. He was on, like, a
Was it like
John
his-
Deere
Was it
tractor.
like his girlfriend's
Yeah, I think.
parents'
Yeah.
farm or
Yeah, I think
something
that his
like that?
girlfriend-
So there's
right?
still connections there. I got to cheer for them. And Kittle's an Iowa guy.
Yeah, for sure cheering the Niners.
I always like Christian McCaffrey. I got to, but I'm kind of with David. My gut says the Chiefs in a close one.
I think 28-24 Chiefs.
Like last minute drive for a field goal. Something. Mahomes, I like to hate on him, but there's no doubt he's very clutch, very good.
Yeah,
So I'm cheering for Niners, but I agree. I kind of think
I think there's an element of
23-20. I'm gonna say
everyone thinks the Chiefs are gonna win. They think this
not Vegas.
the Swift thing is I'm saying I'm gonna zig when everybody else is zagging. I think the public is gonna go heavy on Kansas City. I'm rooting for the Niners. I would also bet on the Niners.
Okay.
I think they cover.
I do think
2
they got a
points
better
is not a lot.
Team, top to bottom, but
I think
I
I think the final score is 38
ooh,
to 27 Niners.
well, that's not even that close of a game. You don't. The NFL's gonna keep it close.
I'm wrong on almost everything I do, so
I hope you're right.
So you asked me before what's a bet I like. I think the bet to make is anytime touchdown score, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah,
I think that's.
yeah, but the odds are probably terrible.
Well, I'd like to maybe
if I
parlay
had $1
that
million
with.
to put on one bet, I'll put it on that.
I bet you the odds on him getting 2 touchdowns is probably
What do you think?
I would still like that
I have it
bet,
right here.
actually.
Anytime.
anytime touchdown
Minus
for McCaffrey is
140?
minus 250.
215.
215.
There you go.
There you go.
What is it for 2?
Oh boy, I don't even.
I bet it's plus
plus.
150, 175.
That's a good guess. Yeah.
Which
I'm
is
so-
insane. Yes, those anytime touchdown bets are good. They're just, you think they're going to hit and they don't. You know, sometimes it seems like they should and they don't. I don't know, man. I think a straight up bet. I mean, if you like Kansas City, I think betting them money line's all right. I would take Kansas. I would take 49ers minus 2. I think that's a fine bet. I might even, you know, I'm a sucker for trying to get it to even odds, so I might tease it to like minus 3
Yeah.
and see if it gets me to just even.
Yeah.
But
I like a.
I think the over.
You like the
know?
over then, right?
Yeah,
Based
I
on
mean,
your
I think
score,
the
you like the
might be
over.
right. Plus, like, come on, root for points. It's a Super Bowl. You know you're gonna
That's
be drinking.
fun. Yeah, that's fun.
It'll be interesting though, as I'm going over.
Two
to-
touchdowns plus 230.
Okay.
3 touchdowns plus 1100.
That's so sick. I have to go. I'm going over to
okay,
my buddies, my high school buddies, to watch this game out in the East Side, and they're all Kansas City Chiefs fans. So it'll be like when it'll take me to my roots of Brock Purdy. Like when I watch Iowa State versus Iowa, is I'm always the only one rooting for Iowa State. So I just have to sit there
Except
and be
Brock
quiet.
Purdy was 0-4 against or 3. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. He's not playing against Iowa. He's
You're at a way worse defense.
yes, way better quarterback.
Yeah. There's 3 guys
I
on
don't-
this
I think
couch that are better than Iowa quarterbacks.
I think it's going to be a good, like, it'll be a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, all of the teams in the AFC, NFC championship games, I thought they would all have been great in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Those are probably
I was
4
surprised
Bills.
at how big of a dud the Ravens were in that game.
their offense. Their defense is pretty good.
They completely
but,
changed the
yeah.
script on offense.
Yeah.
How many times did Lamar drop back?
Well,
They gave up on the rushing game.
I don't know if it ended this way, but did you see like the stat or the meme that like Lamar was he was tied for second in reception yards
That one
Yeah.
play.
with the
Yeah,
one play.
that one play.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was pretty disappointing. But
They made too many mistakes. Self-inflicted mistakes that game.
one last little bet I got. Over 12.5. These are all rushing yards. Over 12.5 for Brock.
Oh, I'd take
Okay.
that.
This is parlaying. Over 90.5 for Christian McCaffrey.
I like that.
Over 67.5 Pacheco. Odds are plus 500. I
not
kind of
bad.
like that. But
I like it. You know what's going to be the weak link in that?
Brock.
Nope, Christian McCaffrey.
McCaffrey getting.
Yeah.
He'll
Focus
get
on-
he'll get
get 100
150
all-purpose.
yards, but
Yeah,
it might be a lot of. You
receiving,
just never
yeah.
know if it's going to be reception.
Well, yeah,
or
because he
rushing.
barely got that. Because I actually won a parlay 2 weeks ago, and I won it by a couple yards with
Yeah.
that last rush he had. So, but overall he had a big game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the game. I don't always say that about the Super Bowl. Like sometimes it's just teams I just don't care about. So it's like not as interesting.
It's two good teams. I just you know my thoughts on the nauseating story that is Taylor Swift. They make you just not like somebody by just overdoing it. But
Yeah.
the game itself, it should be pretty good. I think be close.
Yeah, I mean, this whole Taylor Swift thing, like, I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to it, but it does,
It seems manufactured a little.
yeah, a little bit. I mean, I hope,
I don't
whatever, to each their own. Like, I hope it's a real thing, and
Have you seen
But-
Kelsey's exes? Completely different ends of the spectrum from what
Really?
Taylor Swift looks like. I don't know. It just seems a little interesting, but whatever.
well, time will tell.
Yeah.
And
But
although
I
maybe
did.
they're-
I did hear. How much money she's brought to the league this year? It was like 330 million.
Hey, although, like, it's
Where do
hard
you
to,
get
like,
these,
really
just from views?
justify or understand
Ticket
those.
sales, views.
Well,
It's
probably
in-
all her fans watching now.
Yeah, it has to do with views and what that means in advertising money, but
and I guarantee you, a lot of those fans bought Kelsey jerseys or Mahomes
Yeah.
jerseys.
Yeah.
You know.
well, how about
How long
she
till
got
she
that?
gets her own?
I
Kansas
bet there
City
already is.
jersey?
Well, she had that fullback from the 49ers wife make that starter jacket for
Yeah.
her out of
Use
that
checks?
jersey.
Yeah, I saw that. That was actually
And
really
then
nice.
she turned it into the NFL, like signed her for a licensing deal. So
she turned
she
it
got,
into a nice
she got
deal.
paid.
Damn.
She
Yeah.
makes these, like, she takes a jersey and makes it into like a starter jacket. She did
she,
one
like,
for
cut and
her,
sewn
she did
kinda
another
thing.
one.
Well, she makes us some apparel.
I doubt it. I mean, we could DM her and see.
Do you want to do college basketball? Your Cyclone men are pretty good. I gotta say. Have you been watching?
I have. I started watching with some of the Big 12 play, and I saw some pretty great games.
That Baylor one
The
had
Big
to
12's
hurt.
been very good.
That Baylor game was pretty brutal.
Ooh, I didn't watch this. I hadn't watched the second half, and then I saw what happened, and I was just like, I'm not finishing that. But I didn't get to watch Tuesday night game. It was on ESPN Plus, or maybe it was on Longhorn Network. I didn't get to see it, so.
Oh yeah, I just listened to that on the radio.
But
they seem pretty. Because there's no like dominant team this year or any like UConn maybe.
I love
UConn's
how
number one right now.
I love
11 wins in a row.
how fans, they always, they put out the stats that make them look good. So I saw somebody post something about Iowa State, and they're like, the Big 12 has, I don't know, it was like 4 teams or 5 teams that have at least 6 wins, and here's their strength of schedule, and it's like in the Big 12, and it's like Iowa State was 1, and the other ones are all like 12, 13.
You should put a future on them.
To what?
To win the title.
To win the
To disappoint me in the first round of.
I'm as big a hater as there is about Iowa State because of you, but I have watched quite a bit of basketball lately, and there is no like dominant. UConn is the one I say has probably been the most impressive, but Iowa State's pretty good.
They are. Well, the defense they're playing is just incredible.
I mean, they're worth a shot.
They've got this freshman, and I can't think of his name.
Big white boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
And like I heard him on a broadcast, like compare him to.
Stop it! Don't say Dirk Nowitzki.
Yes, that's who they compared him to.
They compare every tall white foreigner to Dirk
that
Nowitzki.
He did this like reverse like shot out of the corner from the wrong side, and he made it. It's like a fadeaway, and they're like,
If there was film from
man,
David
it's
on
Dirk.
at the playground, you'd have some scout out there saying, "Here's the next Dirk Nowitzki," because
Dirk
he's
Nowitzki.
tall and white.
He hit one fade away. That's Dirk Nowitzki.
I love how you knew where I was going.
I knew
without knowing.
Well, it's kind of like now NFL. This guy could be Cooper Kupp. Any white receiver.
Gym rat.
A gym rat.
Scrappy.
Yeah. First guy in the building, last to leave. But that foreign kid is pretty good.
Man.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
No, I couldn't tell you any of their names, really.
The new guy they'll do that with 15 years from now is this guy's Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if that guy is really good.
That
Like
game he had
70 points.
70 points on like
It was only
what?
like-
What was his
Wasn't
field
it only
goal?
like
His field goal
24
percent? Yeah, his field goal percentage was like
he was like-
75%.
he was like 18 of 24 or something. Like,
It was insane.
yeah, it wasn't like a ball hog game. No, he's something.
How's Iowa doing?
Not good.
No, they're awful.
I will say they've improved since they started really bad. They're pretty young, but they've been playing better lately. But they're not gonna. I highly doubt they make the tournament. I'm ready for Fran to go.
It's time for a change, right?
It's time for a change. They're just.
You guys say that. I mean, that's
Did we say that about football too?
everybody. I mean, like, what other How's the women's basketball coach is good because
of Caitlin Clark. Before that, she was kind of like Fran, won, but never advanced that far. But the problem with Fran is he's had his Caitlin Clark with Luka Garza and the Murray brothers. I mean, those guys. Yeah. That should have been a Final Four team.
They should have put that talent together.
Keegan Murray was, I think, probably the best player in the country that year. And they lose to a shitty Richmond team in the first round. And the Luka Garza, he's in the league, right? The NBA, kinda.
Yeah, he's a two-way contract player. Timberwolves and the Iowa Wolves.
Yeah, I feel like he's wasted a lot of talent there. But
I saw this interview. It was an interview, maybe it was a podcast video thing. I don't know, but it was Coach Otts from Iowa State and Coach K. Duke.
Okay, the Otzelberger.
Yeah.
Are you like bros with him?
Yeah.
Do you just call him Coach Otts?
Yeah, he's gonna be here in a little bit.
I've never heard that, but maybe I don't.
Anyway,
okay.
So he's like, I don't know, he's talking with Coach K, and Coach K talks about how before he took the Duke job, he was up for the Iowa State job.
Really? That would have been
right before Johnny Orr.
Johnny Orr, yeah.
And he told Iowa State, he said, I'm still in the running for Duke. I'm going to wait for that. And so he passed on the Iowa State job. and got the Duke job, whatever. And then coach, Johnny Orr got hired, and Otzelberger
No, it's fine.
told him in a roundabout way, said, well, some people wouldn't be able to hack it in the winters here anyway, so
Busting his balls.
yeah.
Probably
Told
the best.
And Coach K's like, yeah, you can just say I'm soft. I get that. I'm okay with that.
He does. He looks like he's hanging out in bathhouses. But talking about good thing he went to Duke and not Iowa State. He probably wouldn't be. He probably wouldn't be Coach K.
Or what if Iowa State is the Duke? I mean, what was Duke before he was there?
I guess you're right. Maybe I don't know. Was Duke not good?
I don't know. It's just some little college in North Carolina.
You're right. They probably weren't that good. Maybe. Maybe.
Where Duke is at, though, is kind of. Have you ever been in that area at all? So it's in
Chapel Hill. Oh, that's
they're both
together.
both right there,
Yeah.
and it's like right around like Raleigh or Durham, and so they're like super close, and it's some of the. It's not like the craziest, nicest area in the world. It's amazing that two of the best college basketball programs are right there. And I think, what is it like? Is it NC State is also like right there? They're not really good at basketball or anything.
They've had a few good years, but yeah. North Carolina, I think a lot of it is their color scheme. They got some badass uniforms.
Yeah,
always have.
That's
they
all
do.
it is.
Like those are
it's like if Iowa or Iowa State had just like that blue,
the baby blue. I mean, it just pops. And it doesn't hurt that Michael Jordan went there.
Yes, that helps. That helps quite a bit. How you guys doing with the unfortunate news that's come out?
Toby Keith. That was a hard one. I really liked him. Been to couple of his concerts and seemed like a good guy.
I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of country music, but he had some really good stuff.
Especially drinking songs.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a huge country fan, but I mean, I can name numerous Toby Keith songs I enjoy.
I think he kind of brought the casual fan where they're, oh yeah, I know that song. He had quite a few of those. He was good in concert, and I learned that did you know he gave Taylor Swift her first contract on his label?
How about that?
When she was senior high school or something?
Are you blaming this whole Chiefs thing on Toby Keith?
No. He had her when she was not in the Illuminati. She was just a sweet country gal, and George Soros gets his hooks in her. But that was fascinating. I had no idea there was a connection there. And they showed the video of her, like, starstruck by him and stuff. But
and then
he seemed like a good guy.
And then Carl Weathers.
Yeah, that's another tough blow.
That's a weird one. So I listened to this golf podcast. It's called Chasing Scratch. It's these two guys. They've been going for 6 or 7 years. And they're early 40s by now. They were late 30s when they started the podcast. And it's all about them chasing scratch. That's all about them trying to get down to scratch golfers. And I don't even remember where it started, but they've had this long running, inside joke sort of about Carl Weathers. And it started
from the Billy Billy.
It was
it Billy Madison?
In the first or second season.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
In the first or second season of their podcast, they were golfing out in Vegas and they thought that they saw Carl Weathers. And so and it ended up obviously not being Carl Weathers, but it led into this
just another
jokes about Carl Weathers and just and they've always talked about trying to get him on the podcast and interview him and all this, and they finally got to interview him.
Oh, they did. Well, at least
they interviewed him on. So this happened last week, right? And so they interviewed him on Tuesday.
Oh. It was like the last interview.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They interviewed him on Tuesday, and they talked to him for, I don't know, maybe it was 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And at least that's what they released. And it was it was great. Like, I don't know what happened because he was, I mean,
He seemed like a
listening to him
pretty
talk,
cool dude too.
like, I didn't know that he played football. Like, he played for the Raiders.
Yeah,
Really?
saw his
Yeah.
rookie card.
Played for Madden.
Really?
Yeah, and then he got into acting after that. And
Yeah, I heard Stallone. He said when he walked into casting, he's like, "That's the guy."
So here's the story of. So he goes to read or whatever you call it, try out for Rocky, and he's never really done any real acting or whatever. And he sits down to read, and the way he tells it was like, he didn't feel like the guy who was reading with him, doing the lines, did a very good job. And so, like, they're talking about it afterwards or whatever, and he's like, well, if you guys had got me, like, a real actor to read these lines with, I would have been able to do a much better job. And he didn't know it at the time, but they gave him a call back or whatever, and it turned out that it was Stallone who was reading it. But yeah, he just did this interview, and it was really, I mean, like, the guy had a really kind of big and full life, and you just there's stuff that you just never knew. And so that was they recorded on a Tuesday, and then they released it Thursday morning, and then it was Thursday afternoon that they announced that he had passed the night before. It was just a crazy
weird
scenario to think about. And it was weird because, like, he just sounded normal. Like, he was, happy, full of life, and so. But he was pretty old.
He was older than I thought, but he just looked good.
Yeah.
I don't know, years of. I assume he was on the juice a little bit, maybe. But
Maybe.
yeah, he had some other good role. Predator, of course, the Happy Gilmore.
Actually, Predator, the scene with him and Arnold, like with the handshake.
Yeah, it's classic. Dylan.
That got more play as a joke, like, when I was in college than like anything I could remember. You know how many times, like, people would handshake like that
and not have near the muscle.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, obviously not. But
yeah, that scene's great because, like, it, like, pauses on them for a minute.
Yes,
just
and they just have
hands.
the giant
And
biceps.
their biceps keep getting larger with, like,
Yes.
each second passing. What a movie that was.
Yeah.
Well, that's the next breakdown.
Predator.
Yes.
Except you got to watch all of them
Okay.
because there's like 4 or 5 now. Only the first one's any good.
No, don't threaten me with a good time. I'll watch them all. Jesse the Body was awesome in that.
Yes.
He said things that you cannot say anymore in movies.
Oh yes, that is true. I have to say that, like, the podcast topics iPhone note that we share.
I'm usually drunk when I input stuff.
I know. I love it because I get on my computer in the morning and I see these, because it comes up on my computer, and I just see these notifications. And so
'Cause I know I'll forget.
We've got so here's what came across from that. First one, Patrick Swayze's fucking pants in Roadhouse.
Oh, we didn't even
serious discussion.
We haven't discussed it yet. Let's rewind it.
All right. Well, let's get you through this list, and then we'll come back to it, okay?
Yeah.
We did talk about this. Is there an underground world of bouncer mercenaries?
Like, there's a list.
We did talk about, we mentioned this. Are there bars in real life that require the band to be behind a steel fence for safety? We need to go to a bar that patrons offering to kiss their girlfriends' tits for $20.
Never been to one of those.
And then pain don't hurt literally makes no sense.
That was one of the first things that popped up in the Google search is when I put, like, pain, and it, like, finishes it, like, don't hurt. Like, so obviously this has been discussed. That makes no sense because pain does hurt, right? That's
this
what
is
it
the definition.
means.
Oh man, but yeah, the clothes.
That first scene took my breath away. His pants were to his nipples, and the parachute pants could have housed a family. Just huge.
Oh man, yeah. Watching anything from back then, in like 1989. Let's see, I was
2. I was 2.
I was 5. But I don't know. It doesn't. It's just crazy that some of the clothes that they wear back then.
The lace-up gray sweatpants.
Yes, have you seen those?
Yes.
And he wore the hell out of those. Like he showed a little bit down there. And...
Yeah, how about Sam Elliott, his buddy? Like, you're talking about him trying to steal his buddy's girlfriend when he's like, I got a scar I'll show you, and he just like unzips his pants, shows half his bush, and shows a scar off the side on his hip.
And it was from a wild woman, I believe he said. Also, what was that line? I know we're going back now, but this movie was full of... They're like, you want some, Dad? And he's like, well, I'm not going to show you my dick. And then they just start punching. Again, that didn't really make much sense.
I can't wait to drop the I'm not going to show you my dick line in the group chat.
like he wasn't even like referencing a dick, and he just brought it up. You want some, old man.
Man, the writers. I wonder if they're still working.
I hope so.
I
hope they wrote the new one, yeah. I'm sure McGregor's got some weird lines in this one.
Oh, man.
Oh, I bet he's got some things to say.
They probably just let him loose, like no script. But I am excited for that movie, which shows you all you need to know about my life. All right, we had some fantasy basketball, David.
Fantasy basketball.
I'll let you start. How you doing?
What point in this season are we?
Oh, boy, it's getting crunch time.
Yeah.
Was there like 4 regular season games, so it's like 4 weeks?
4 weeks.
And then
Sounds
playoffs.
about right. Yeah.
4 weeks and then playoffs.
I should be in the playoffs, I think.
Is anybody
in.
locked in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mathematically locked in.
I think the
Yep.
top guy is, yeah.
Well, I'm looking at it right now. There's 5 teams locked in. Frankie, you're in.
I'm locked? Oh,
You're
nice.
in.
Oh, now that I have you, David, is there anything on my roster not named Luka or Jokic that you would give me Tyrese Halliburton for?
I don't think so, man.
I didn't think so.
That's not my only shot to
What if he
somebody.
threw in like what if he threw in like free babysitting for a month?
Man,
Yeah, I need a fantasy win. It's been a while. A championship. Because I don't think I'm going to do it. I got those 2 best players in the league, but I don't have that.
You just
third.
told me you were trading for Tyree.
Yeah,
Tyrese
he'd be my
Halliburton.
3rd guy.
Well, he's the best
be
player.
a hell of a third.
Well, I'm looking at some of these rosters. Like the top guy, is it Evan?
It's Evan, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty stacked.
He is, especially with Harden playing well right
Yeah,
now.
like he's got a lot of guys that
Valanciunas is just a stat stuffer.
right guys that you wouldn't necessarily
Town
think.
stat stuffer. You know, Durant's good. Vucevic
Yeah,
also
I mean,
stat stuffer.
that's really good.
Stat
Yeah.
stuffer. That's one of my
Stat
nicknames.
stuff.
Right now I am in the playoffs, barring a complete implosion. So I'm at like 88% chance to make it in. I'll probably be
So if you win this week, you're probably in.
yeah
How many teams make it in
8,
out of
12.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
rookies?
yeah,
I didn't even realize that. Okay.
yeah. So I'm losing this week, but we'll see. I've been dealing with some injuries lately. Halliburton.
That's what I'm trying to get at,
Yeah.
You've
Yeah,
seen
but-
my history with trades and fantasy lately. You might want to take it.
It might be a sign that he's actually done for the year.
I saw he's only been playing like 25 minutes.
He's been on a restriction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we thought he tore multiple hamstrings.
Yeah, he did the James Brown on the court. I mean, full splits. They carried him off like a baby.
He looked like an infant being carried off. I thought he was done forever. But
No one's been that embarrassed being carried off the court since Paul Pierce shit his pants.
That is a great story. People thought he was like damn near paralyzed, but he had just pooped himself.
They got him a wheelchair to get him off the court.
Well, you
Got him to
can't
change his shorts, and he came back.
I can see why you went on a walk off with that happening back there.
Yeah, you don't want anything to fall out while you're walking.
And they were in their white uniforms. I mean, that would really show. Yeah, didn't he Yeah, he came back running on the court like 5 minutes
He did.
later.
Standing ovation at the Garden.
Yeah, they thought it was like a Willis Reed moment when he
Yeah.
just came back. No, he just shit himself.
Is there anything different about the playoffs? Like, is it just the same setup? You just have a bracket set up, or
Bracket set up,
yeah.
head-to-head, 1 week matchup. Nothing different about the regular season, really. Yeah, I should be in. So that's the name of the game. Get in and see if you can go on a run.
The worst part is NBA is worse than NFL. They start resting guys
They do.
a lot, especially if you're like a really good team. That's
This time of the year is rough too. Like right near the All-Star break, if you got somebody that's even questionable, they're like, oh, we'll just set them until after the All-Star break,
Yeah.
get them an extra week off.
It's kind of. I think that's what they're kind of doing with Halliburton. Like,
Yeah, exactly what they're doing with him. They're just kind of
like you almost want guys
limping
that
him
are
in.
on teams that are, middle of the fighting for position.
yeah, trying to get out of that play-in zone.
Yeah, you don't really. I mean, you take the best players, but I don't know Denver's record, but I assume they're pretty high up there. I just hope they don't rest the guy. Although that new rule about MVP, you can't be the MVP unless you play
I love that rule.
a minimum 65 games. So a guy like Jokic, I assume, would want to win another MVP, so they might not rest
He
him
might
as
not
much.
care.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to care about much. Actually,
He doesn't. He doesn't seem to care about anything.
no.
It's no different than a cubicle for him.
The guy is the most interesting basketball player I've ever seen. He does not move very fast at all. Doesn't sweat ever.
He's
He just
huge.
lumbers up the court.
He's big. He's strong.
His jump shot, he doesn't even leave his feet.
He's got this huge high arc.
When he rebounds, he doesn't really jump. He kind of just throws his arm up there.
Yeah, he's got great ball skill. He can.
Yeah, he's like a guard.
Yeah. He's got great. Touch
Yeah.
on the basketball.
Yeah, he's pretty fun to watch. I haven't watched a lot of him. But yeah, I don't. Who's the best team in the league? Is it the Celtics? I don't really even look at the standings till the end. But
The Clippers are on a roll right now.
Clippers.
They're number one in the West, I think. Celtics are good too as far as the East goes. We'll see how it goes. Celtics first in the East. Clippers first in the West.
Sixers are pretty much
Thunder,
done
Timberwolves
without
good.
Embiid. He's gonna be
Yeah.
out.
Second team in the East, the Cavaliers.
That's surprising.
Yeah. I think the Pacers will make a nice run though, especially when Halliburton gets back. They just picked up Siakam from
Yeah.
Toronto. That should be a good pair.
Jason, jump in with your NBA knowledge. If you,
I don't.
I know.
I don't watch the NBA.
Jason just wants an all Iowa State NBA basketball
Yeah.
team.
Even then,
Which your boy Monty got traded today to the T-Wolves.
He did. I like that trade.
good
the
for him.
T-Wolves.
Yeah. I
That
think
would
they
be-
could
I'd-
make a
I could
starting five,
probably-
couldn't they? Cyclone basketball players?
Yeah, I think so.
I could probably watch some T-Wolves. Can't watch any Pacers around here.
The T-Wolves aren't on around here very often either.
Oh,
It's
really?
the Bulls.
No.
It's all Bulls. It's all
And
bullshit.
yeah, good one. They were down by 30 last night and
Yeah,
somehow
and
won.
beat the Wolves. Yeah.
No, the Bulls are. I used to watch every game of theirs. I just
The,
kind of don't care anymore.
yeah.
They're just a treadmill team.
The move that just, I think, really set them back was Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, they got terrible
It's unfortunate because
terrible
I think
luck with point guard knee injuries. In that
getting
franchise.
him was a great move for the team.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good player. He's
Well,
kind of like the gear that makes the team work.
Well,
you
yeah,
know?
with him, they were. I think they were top 2 or 3 in the East
They were
when he
good.
was playing last year. Or God, it's been 2 years now. What an awful knee injury.
Yeah.
I could never get over how crazy his dad was.
LeVar.
Yeah, I mean, it's
He was
just
pretty entertaining though.
yeah, but like as like a team,
Yeah.
like
Oh, it'd be
oh
awful
yeah,
to have
we're
him
gonna
around.
we're gonna have you on our team, but that also means they have to deal with your stupid dad.
He's been kind of quiet. Is it because both his sons are always injured now?
Maybe
Because LaMelo's out a lot.
he's out. He's been out a lot.
Yeah.
He's a good player though too.
He's
When he's on the
really
court, he's
good.
very good.
Yeah.
He's probably the best of the three.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, the Bulls are depressing. They got like one good young player to build with.
Who's that?
And Kobe White.
Kobe White.
He has made a real leap.
Yeah, he's looking good.
But outside of that, they just got like DeRozan and Vucevic are so like they're not going to get any better. They are what they are.
You know who's been stepping up lately though is that Wembanyama. He's looking good. He's got, I mean, he should be the rookie of the year. He's yeah, and he's on pace to be like defensive player of the year too as a rookie.
Well, he looks like he's 8'10" whenever he's like pictured with anybody else.
Even on the NBA court, he looks
That's nuts.
freakishly large.
He's tall and his arms are as long as he is tall. It's crazy.
Yeah, saw a stat the other day where he a few years ago where Rudy Gobert was the defensive player of the year for the Jazz, and through 40 games this season, Wembanyama's got as many blocks and steals as he had already.
The blocks for sure. Yeah, like the guy just seems like he's got an extra couple hands. Like he could just.
I wonder what his wingspan is. What's your guess?
I don't know, 8'3".
That's a good guess. I'll look it up right now.
It seems like some of those guys that are
8 foot
Is it
estimated.
It seems like guys like are tall, and they're 6'10" or whatever, but they have like wingspans that are over 7 foot. So
Yeah,
he's in
Yeah,
the
well,
7 foot range, right? So
7'3.5" is what they've measured him at barefoot.
come on, with the half, come on. Do we really need to get to the half inch with these guys and their height? Man, it's like when you got a 4-year-old and you're like, oh yeah, he's 49 months old.
Is Wembanyama's wingspan bigger than Drake's penis? My wife JD showed me that video, and I'm regretting
I just
it.
heard about this today. I was listening to an episode of Pardon My Take.
Did they bring it up?
And they brought it up, and I hadn't heard anything about it. And then they're just talking about some video of him.
Okay,
getting
this
after
was
it
not an
himself.
accidental release. This thing is a snake. It looked like he was playing with a gardener snake. I would always be naked if I had this.
You could just lean forward with.
You need to watch this video.
I don't know that I do.
He could wrap it 3 times around his wrist if he wanted to.
Wear it as a scarf.
He could, an ascot. It was something. Some guys have it all.
Oh man.
You and Anthony, I heard about your lunch, Giordano's.
Oh yeah, man.
How was that?
It's a good spot. You ever go over there and eat?
Yeah,
That place just in town here.
Yeah, it's just over by Jordan Creek.
good
Yeah.
deep
It's-
dish.
Yeah, if you like deep dish, it's good. Boy, has it gone downhill on the patronage.
Really?
The food was fine. The food was good.
Oh, so they're probably gonna.
But I remember when it opened, we went there and the place was packed and
Yeah.
you put your name in and you
What
have
was
to
the hot new thing from Chicago?
yeah, you have to order your pizza while you're still waiting for your table because it's going to take 40 minutes for your
Right.
pizza. And we got there, it was 11:30 and real lunchtime on a weekday, it was a Friday.
Yeah.
And restaurant's empty.
That's not good.
Just empty.
Because I do like their food.
So
Last time I went there, I was waiting for my order, and I'd never seen this before. Guy walked in with a girl, looked kind of younger. I might have told you this. And I asked the bartender, I was having a beer. a beer and whatever she wants, and she ordered, and the guy got the beers poured, and he stopped, and he's like, wait, can I see some ID on you? To the young girl. And the guy's like, good job, you passed. He was an undercover cop.
How about that?
With a younger girl to see if...
A sting.
A sting. So see, he's like, oh, you passed, good job. And they didn't even drink the beer. They just, and I'm like, I looked at the bar and did that just happen?
Was he really, or was he just like he got caught and so he was like?
I guess maybe. I don't know.
I mean, they do that. They do that stuff. Like, you know.
Well, he looked of age. The girl, I could see a little questionable, maybe, but
because they'll do that at like grocery stores. They'll come in and try and buy cigarettes or alcohol, and they'll send in a younger person to do it. Never seen it at a restaurant, but I guess it's completely possible.
I was like, if this guy served her, he's gonna ruin his life.
Yeah, I don't know if it ruins the bartender's life
or the company. I guess.
I think the
gets
company
a lot of
gets
shit.
hit.
Yeah, and this dude was kind of like flabbergasted. He's like, "Wow, good thing I asked that."
The real story is that it was just some dirtbag with some underage girl.
Let's go to a shittier pizza joint and. So yeah, I think that was the last time I've been there.
Yeah, I've gone over there a number of times. It's, I don't know, it's pretty good if you like that.
It is. You get
stuff.
I feel always kind of like gross after it because the pizza's so big.
It is, yeah.
But no, it's really good. Well, they closed Rosati's. I liked that place too.
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah.
Here in town?
Yeah, I drove by it last night on the way to Gianna's
too bad.
dance. It's empty.
I like that place.
Yeah.
There's
It's
not
tough.
enough good pizza out here.
Seven Stone's still going, isn't it?
Seven Stone's good.
Never had it.
Really? That's good. Taste of New York.
We could talk about
That's a good
daddy-daughter
one.
dance.
I was gonna say like
That'd be a good subject for this. We do a
how,
preview, and then after the fact, we have David back.
We talked about that on. I talked about that with Anthony. Like
Anthony's pissed at it. that
it's
everyone's coming.
it's morphed into a like we're gonna have to get a bus if we all want to drive together.
The daddy-daughter dance. So let me be my first one. I'm excited.
His daughter's still underage. Let's
She-
hope they
yeah.
don't card her.
Let's talking about underage. I'm sneaking my daughter in.
It's like the cop. Good, you passed.
Oh man, what's the
3.
Three?
3 is the age.
Oh, Francesca.
She's-
Oh, God. Well, you can use
She's a
that.
little
They
over
won't
2.
ask. They don't care.
They won't care.
No, they just want.
What could they
people there.
possibly care about?
Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's an extra $7.50
Exactly.
for him. So or 15.
No,
with
I'm
you.
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. So, you guys are all gonna
Yeah, I
be at
still
the
have to order
same
my-
one.
I still have to order my tickets, but yeah,
Yeah.
we're going.
We usually do dinner, but I mean, Anthony's got. It is a bigger group.
We talked about that. I said just it's not like Echo is super busy all the time. As long as they don't have nothing going on, just see if they can do it. It's
Although,
not,
big, I mean, last year was fairly big too, so we're just adding for sure David and Frankie, and maybe another neighbor and his daughter, but I'm not even sure if.
but like you remember last year, it's not like it was packed or something.
No, well, that was the Echo, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
But also, you know, I mean, I don't know. Is everybody going to go to dinner? I don't know.
Maybe not.
Driving all the way, if we do it in Norwalk, it's like, is everybody really going to drive all the way to over there?
But we can make a reservation too. The gals deserve a night out.
You remember when it was just me, you, and Anthony?
Oh
and
God!
we went to Scornavacos.
Scornavacos, yeah. That was Gianna got like locked in the bathroom or something.
Well, no, like remember she had like Gianna ordered she ordered her food and like it came out.
It was wrong. It was like white sauce or something.
Yeah. They ordered like spaghetti or
Oh,
something.
no.
It comes out, it's white sauce.
And you know Gianna, she can't let this be.
Yeah.
No. And then everybody else is like
Night ruiner for her.
eating. Everybody's like eating pizza, and she's
Waiting for
waiting patiently.
Not patient.
Patiently is
I was
it
trying to be nice,
Yeah.
That's her.
and it was like right up until like, well, we're gonna have to just go.
Yeah, because it did take a while for the for it to come back.
which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it probably shouldn't have taken out. The place
mean,
was not that busy.
It's spaghetti and
Mm-hmm.
red sauce. It's not like they're making the sauce back there. Come on now. It's out of a jar for that.
but last year's was pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty tame. And I think having baby Frankie there this year will help with some of the attention they'll pay to her.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But once you get into that church, it's kind of chaos. I lost you, I believe.
Yeah. Well, the kids, they want to do
Oh, they want to go
everything.
for like...
They only want to go there for a couple
like,
minutes.
Yeah, like 5 minutes, and then they're off to the next one. I'm like, Jesus.
And Lucy always wants to do. She wants to go. She goes back in those activity rooms, and then she wants to do all the popular stuff. It's like there's like the hoops, there's like air hockey, and there's a line. People want to do the stuff, and so I was just like,
I wish these girls would just... The dance floor is where you got to be.
yeah,
Yeah.
With the music. Like, I don't know why they're not supposed to stay there.
yeah.
This sounds like it's gonna be chaos.
Oh, well, I usually go home and drink a bottle of vodka.
Decompress.
After every daddy-daughter dance. JD says it's her favorite night of the year.
Because the girls are out of the house.
It's just
you're out of the house?
her and our dog
Oh man.
just reading a book, watching TV, just chilling. But,
So we've got Valentine's Day coming up too.
oh, shit, we do.
Do you guys make a big deal out of it with your wives still?
Used to.
No.
Not
No.
so much anymore.
Let me tell you
You go
about.
out
You tell me about our.
He takes me to IHOP. It's really...
No, for Valentine's Day this year, my brother and sister-in-law are going out of town, and so we're watching their 3 kids.
romantic.
Yeah. So Mia is actually going to stay at their house, either because they have school and stuff. They live in Indianola, so it's
That's a
little
commitment.
further away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's going out there, I think, either Wednesday night or Valentine's Day, or Thursday. But yeah, she's gonna.
So you're
stay
going to be
out
sitting
there.
on the couch like Drake.
So yeah, that's our Valentine's. Like we thought about. We're talking about going and doing something this weekend, but you got to find a babysitter and stuff. And
Yeah.
my
It gets-
parents are out of town. They're in Arizona now, so
Don't forget the
gets
following
tougher.
weekend if you guys are free. Or will she be watching the kids, I
well,
guess.
I might be free. The kids.
The Des Moines Buccaneer game.
Oh yeah.
I'm probably going to order some tickets. I think it's just general admission. I don't think it's
Is
like
that Saturday?
Saturday the 17th.
Yeah.
And then our glorious
I don't know
return to
when they go
Ridgemont.
back.
The Ridgemont's a good place.
But
Ridgemont's
yeah,
is
that's
a good
what. So yeah, we don't have big plans. Like in the past, we try and go do something, but we're not big on
Money.
going out when
Yeah.
everybody else is out for that
No,
stuff.
it's
but
so
It's
hard to
busy.
get like a reservation and
yeah,
We've gotten into like making dinner at home the last few years.
yeah.
And my wife and I, we've got this tradition started a few years ago where we drink box wine in the car on Valentine's
I have
Day.
so many jokes, but it's my sister, so I can't.
Just like while you're driving down the highway.
Yeah, so kinda. I mean,
You're right. I wasn't even thinking about the illegal driving. That was
yeah.
David's just drinking from the box.
He's just taking
Playing
he's just
slappy bag, just
yeah,
me
he's
and
just taking
her.
the bag out of the box and is
Yeah.
just sitting in like a helmet as he's drinking it from.
You
a
remember those
straw.
old drunk driving commercials where the guy rolled down his window and just wine fell
It,
out?
he just pours out of the car. Yeah,
it's
that's me
David.
on Valentine's Day. Yeah, a couple years ago, we went to a restaurant, and it was a place we liked going, but it was, I forget the name of it anymore. So, and they had like a special limited menu for Valentine's Day that you could only order from this menu, and there was like one vegetarian option. My wife's a vegetarian, so we're like, and
I remember
it didn't sound great, so we're like, fuck this, we're leaving, right? And so we're like, all right, what are we gonna do? And so we got we called in reservation to Biaggi's instead, but we had to wait like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And so we're like, all right, we're out, and we go to Walgreens, and we're like, well, let's get a box of wine. And so we just sat in the car
Walgreens.
and drank a box of wine while we waited for our reservation, and that's kind of become our
And I guarantee you that
go-to thing.
you'll remember that more than you would a night at Biaggi's, probably. So.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So now that's our thing.
Yeah, no, JD and I got a limo for her once, and
Wow.
then we went out, and then
I bet you got laid that night.
yeah, don't listen, Anthony. One year we did a hotel.
Damn.
That's when I was in the more of the courting process.
Yeah.
But yeah, the years go on, and you kind of just want to order in or just chill.
Yeah, and then like you said, when kids,
And the kids,
you got kids, you
yeah.
gotta find something to do with them, and
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the cheapest part of me really with this time of year with my parents out of town
yeah.
is that I can't stand paying for a babysitter.
Yeah.
Have you guys
No,
ever paid for a
I'm
babysitter?
very lucky.
No,
no.
It's stupid expensive.
No.
I'm already going to go out
Never
and
have.
spend a bunch of money out to eat,
Yeah.
drinking, whatever.
Right.
I am curious about who. Like, is it just like some high school girl?
So in the past, we've used a friend of hers from work's daughters, but they're off to college now, so
Yeah.
they're not an option. So
And do they?
we
set,
don't even
like,
really have.
Where do they
an
begin
option.
about setting the price? Do they just?
You know what the problem is they don't set the price. They're like, oh, whatever, which is the worst. Because tell me a price.
I can see it would be awkward to say a price.
Yeah.
It'd be it would be
But-
awkward, but then it's like,
But it's
what's
like-
the going rate, right? What's the market?
Yeah. Market.
It's
How do you
like-
set the market on this?
and it's based. If you got a couple kids, it's different, whatever. I think we were paying like $20 an hour. And
Alright.
so we'd be,
Wow.
you'd go out for 4 hours, and your dinner and drinks or whatever, you're $100 easily, and then
Yeah.
you come home and you got to hand over another 80.
Was there not days like these old movies? I think of like Halloween, Michael Myers, babysitters, where they just pay for like dinner and that's it. Or now it's like 20 an hour.
20 an hour.
I mean, that's quite a bit. That's steep.
Yeah.
We still are working on getting George here. We got to do that. What topics would we talk to George? It'd have to be concerts, music.
I think I would slowly walk him through his entire life.
Yeah, his
This would be a
earliest memory.
6-part series, probably.
Yeah,
It's gonna be like
we'd be here a week.
6 hours of recording.
And
is
we don't talk at
released-
all.
That is released. Is just 6 episodes. With George, we'll just have to kind of keep him within, kind of guide him a little bit so he doesn't just go off on a bunch of tangents. But
This is a man that talked to an elk while high on peyote.
I don't want to hear that story. I want to know what that elk had to say.
It was the head elk.
The head elk.
Yes.
Like he knew.
How did he know it was an elk?
He needed to.
It might have been a traffic sign,
Yeah, it probably was.
but at
love-
that moment, it wasn't. It was the head elk.
Did he have a bow tie on? Like, how do you know that was the head? That was the alpha elk.
The aura of the elk
Just
gave it away.
a scene of him staring at this thing.
Man, to be like a car that just stopped to look at him, just standing there talking to nothing.
Yeah, there was
There was
literally
no
nothing there.
There was no stop sign. There was no tree. Literally, it was just
Air.
yeah.
Probably the most glorious elk he's ever seen in his life.
But you know what's crazy is that if that had happened, within the last 10 years, there'd be video of it somewhere.
Yes. It's probably good George wasn't around the cell phone era.
I think most of us can say
That's true.
I mean, cell phones.
I mean, there's bad enough pictures of us from those flip phones. I wouldn't want to
I
video.
mean, when I was in high school, cell phones really weren't a thing. They started coming out when I was about
Yeah.
a senior, but it wasn't taking photos types of cell
Right,
phones.
No, mine. I kept mine in my. I used it pretty much just to call mom.
Call
Yeah.
in, yeah. Just to call my parents, right?
Yeah, I played that little snake game on there every now and
Yes.
again.
And then even in college, like they became more prevalent, but it was just the flip phones. It was text messages. It was not like the smartphone era. Now there's plenty. I have like printed photos. Like, you know, you take it, you turn the film in that are bad. Like, you should not have these photos lying around. Like, just debauchery, you know. Plenty of digital photos from digital cameras.
Reminds me, my Aria, the youngest, was going through a linen closet of ours, pulled out a picture, 8x10. It's you with your mouth agape. Passed out in my parents' basement.
Yes.
And you autographed it. And she said, "Is this Jason?"
She knew. She
And
knew.
she says, "What's this?" I said, "Oh, he signed it."
That could be worth something someday.
I do have an open spot in my memorabilia.
Did she tell you to frame
Oh,
it?
you got to put it up. You got to put it up in the basement.
It was that one night in the pool room, the billiards room. You passed out on a wicker chair after Uncle Buck. And I think JD must have gotten it blown up to a 8x10. I'm shocked we still had it, yeah.
Well, one wouldn't just get rid of
I,
that
I,
photo.
I probably couldn't get rid of it, yeah.
Well, you know, you're in the collectible business. You know what's valuable and what's not.
Put that on Frankie's